Well, good morning. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I am Steve Smith, and how are you all today? Are you ready for some rage? Day of rage, they say, is coming. We've seen some things popping up here recently that it is not funny, even though I chuckled. It is a serious cause for concern, and I think we need to be ready for it, and we need to be informed. I want to talk about that. Before I get to that, I want to welcome everybody, welcome all the new people, both here and over on Patreon. If you're not with us on Patreon, come on over, be part of the group, part of the community. We have an excellent group over there, and the community section over there is almost like going to a graduate class, because we have some super smart people, whether you're interested in ham or EMP or CME or pharmaceuticals or all sorts of things. The Patreon community is really something. I learn a lot. I go there a lot, and you can get to us right down there. Put a lot of stuff on there that never gets to YouTube. So if you're really serious about this stuff, we'd love to have you over there. I spent a little time with the webmaster of our new website, stonemont.us. For those of you who wonder, well, this is integrative preparedness. What are you talking about, Stonemont? Well, it's based after my series of books, the Stonemont series, the complete series concerning how to prepare for, how to survive, and how to come out the other end in good shape and rebuild after a total collapse. The books are the reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and the latest one that has just been rocking it, hostages to fortune. They're exploding off the charts, and thank you all of you Stonemotters. If you haven't read the books, guys, you'll like them if you're really interested in preparedness. If you're really interested, because I've never been asked a question that I haven't already answered in detail in one of these books, and besides that, it's a great story. They're available from Amazon. The link is down below. You can get it from Amazon in either paperback or Kindle. You can get this one in hardback, not the rest of them, but the rest of them I will be working on in the next couple of months to get them available in hardback for those of you who like that. You can also get them from me, and you can get them autographed from me. You've always been able to do that through the mail. The address is down there, but now you can get them through the website, stonemont.us, and the webmaster set up such a cool thing with the what do they call it, the cart, how you order off the website, I don't know, whatever it's called, and you can put in there, you can check which books you want, and then over on each one, you can put, what message you'd like me to write in there, to Bob, to John, to Alice, whatever, and as long as you don't ask me to lie or say a dirty word, I'll be happy to put it in there. If you want them as gifts, let me know that. And he just showed me, he spent a little time running through the website with me on how it works, and it is so cool. As I see the orders coming in, I'm able to see what's new, what has been filled, meaning that we've shipped it out, what is yet to be filled, and we're waiting on the next big order, the next big shipment from Amazon, because we have run out. We have run out of books, but I put in another big order, so Amazon tells me they're going to get me that order in by the 9th of April. They often get it to me sooner, but that's what we're banking on. And then all the ones that have not yet been filled, I'll sit down and sign those, and we'll get them packed up and shipped out the next day. But it's so cool. I know I'm being drug into the 21st century of e-commerce, and it'll show me what's been filled, what's yet to be filled, and then when we fill it, and we mark it as been filled, then it sends a confirmation email to the buyer. And I just keep sitting here as he shows me all this stuff, and I go, how cool is that? How cool is that? I know. I'm easily impressed, but I'm kind of Stone Age. I'm a throwback guy, and this stuff impresses me, but I really like it. And by the way, I meant to tell you that anybody who orders the complete set from me, I can't do this through Amazon, but anybody that orders the complete set, I throw in the Stonemont notebook for free from me to you, and it's a cool book. It's what I use to keep, I'm using mine now to keep all of my lists of questions that I get asked and what videos I'm going to make. And that's why that I knew that when I picked up my book and said, what am I going to talk about today? And right here for integrative preparedness, I also have what I'm going to do for American Reversion, prepping for prosperity, Stonemont Church, and all this. But I see that integrative preparedness, I wanted to talk today about, are you ready for the rage? And that's what brings us back to this. Are you? Are you ready for the rage? You know, I guess we heard this stuff. Hate groups have been exploding for a long time. Those groups who identify themselves as victims, their hatred has been used against their seeming oppressors, which is just normal life, you know, the world. They don't like the way the world has gone, and instead of actually doing something about it and getting themselves straight, they'd rather complain. But we live in such a soft world now that it's that being a victim is a faster and much easier road to getting what you want than working for it. So there we have it. And it's the world we live in now. There's no getting away from it. What we need to do is to prepare ourselves to deal with it. The latest thing here, this school shooter down in Nashville, turns out it was a transgender person. I hear that somebody was kicked off was it Twitter or TikTok or one of them for even mentioning that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a video after I get done with this. I'm doing one over on American Reversion about what about TikTok. There's some interesting things going on with that, some interesting thoughts. I may not agree with a lot of people about what's going on in there, and I'm going to talk about that. But anyway, so somebody got kicked off of one of them just by mentioning it, so I know that I may be dancing close to the edge here. But apparently this shooter, as we know, has made a big issue of being transgender. It turns out that it's not the first transgender mass shooter that we've had. And I think you can find the information on that. I'm not going to waste time here talking about that. But it was only, earlier in the week or last week or something, and I didn't really think much about this at the time. But there was this call for the Day of Rage, and that's supposed to be Saturday, the 1st of April, and apparently it's no April Fool's joke, and there's even talk about winding up to it the 30th and the 31st of March, I guess today and tomorrow, right? But Saturday is supposed to be the big one. We will see whether it comes to fruition, but I think it behooves us to act as if it very well could. So this came out. I didn't pay much attention to it. I think at first it was called the Day of, I don't know, of seeing us or recognition or something like that. And then it wound up to the Day of Rage. And there have been a lot of posts on social media, and here's why a person who wants to stay informed should be on social media. I know there's a lot in the so-called preparedness community that say stay off of social media. Well, your choice, but you're not going to know what's going on. Well, I don't need to know what's going on. I'm hiding here in my basement. Whatever. So it has been developing that, and we've seen it across, and I don't keep track of all of the social media, but I have people who do tell me about it, right? So if you don't keep track, at least have somebody keep track and tell you about it. that this day of recognition or whatever morphed into this day of rage. There have been apparently a lot of, and I think Tucker Carlson covered this, LGBTQ plus. Did I get that in the right order? I'm not sure. I don't say that very often. Gun clubs and self-defense organizations and things like this, gunning up, as it were, as if anybody's out to get them. I don't know anybody that's ever been out to get them. Do you? No. But it's like so many things that, the thing that starts with we just want to be treated equally, and now we want to be treated specially, and we hate you, and so we're going to keep going until we get everything. There is a lot of hatred out there, but it's not from our side. There are a lot of people who hate us. And they have been not only, I don't know what's the right term for this, but they have not only been accepted but celebrated in what they're doing. Excuse me, just half a second. And of course, what you accept and then celebrate, you get more of. And so it's just a self-feeding monster, but it's being fed by those in our societies who accept this BS. So now, you can Google this, and I forget, one's called Reload or Reload. It's a group, and then there's another one called the Pink Pistol Club. And apparently they are getting pretty militant. We saw what happened with the riots a couple of years ago. The same treatment is being applied here, that the mainstream media is excusing the behavior, supporting the behavior, as if, with the situation down in Nashville, they're turning it around to make that shooter the victim. And at least a third of anywhere from a third to a half of our society is accepting that and believing it. So what's coming down the road? Well, they promise us a day of rage. They say that we are not safe because of our hatred of them. Of course, none of us hate them. I couldn't care less about them, to be honest, except as concerns the threat they might pose me and my family. So this is coming. So what's the situation? Well, we keep on with our basic preparedness, not only to be able to survive well through any temporary or permanent calamity. By the way, do you see the activity of our sun has become something interesting? I occasionally put stuff over on Patreon about that, and Hondo Bob and a couple of others over there who actually know about this stuff really well, they talk about it in the community section. So you ought to keep up on that. So we prepare, and we need to keep preparing. And that takes care of basic preparedness. But as the world becomes more threatening, and it's not like it goes up and down and up and down. The threat level is should I go it this way or this way? Doesn't matter, whichever way. The threat level is going up. Maybe this makes more sense from the threat level is going like that. The threats continue, and they're going higher and higher and higher. And as the threats elevate, our security posture needs to elevate. Our awareness and our readiness to respond against threats for our own safety, we need to increase that. We know what we're talking about with that. The idea that, like in the past, where for the most part there were just certain places you had to be careful, those places are everywhere now. As I say often, there are no safe places. There are no safe places. As soon as you walk out your door, you're in the world. Sometimes you're not even safe in your own house, except for the safety and security you provide yourself. And you should never take that for granted. You should take those steps, as you know. But as the entire world becomes an elevated threat environment, you need to recognize it and treat it as such. Are you prepared through all your day? I just dropped the kids off to school. I was prepared. I was prepared if something went down right then. I'm prepared now. If I hear something going on at the school, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And we've talked to our kids about it, in addition to what the school tells them. Much of what I tell them is right along line with what the school tells them. Some things are not. I'm not necessarily going to get into that here. But we will see what happens with this promised day of rage. They say they're going to bring it to us. Hope not. Hope not. For everybody's sake. Nobody wants violence. But we do need to be aware of what's going on. If you're not aware, you're not going to be prepared. There's no such thing as being prepared without being aware. And that's what I really want to encourage for anybody out there who is still on this stay off of social media. Do what you want. It's certainly not me to tell you what to do. But understand that if you disconnect from the information flow of this world, you're not going to be aware, and that is going to have an effect on your preparedness, and not a good one. Okay, we will see what happens. Remember that these are now available on the website, stonemont.us. On stonemont.us, not only can you order the books, but you'll get people who visit that site, and we're really getting slammed, can get the links to this channel, to the American Reversion channel, to the Prepping for Prosperity channel, and for the Stonemont Church channel, and a whole lot more is coming, so be with us over there. And like I say, these things have sold out. Getting a new load, send those out, looks like, I guess, next week, as soon as we can. You all remember, stay aware so that you can stay prepared. And remember that we prepare well today, which means staying aware in order to live well tomorrow. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.